is just running up the beach. This is a nice longshore current here. The winds are from the southeast. It's just pushing the water right up the beach here. But you can see, too, the waves are starting to come on, and the high tide is starting to come in as well. We got a high tide about 1:30 here, so the tide is only going to build here as we go through the next a couple of hours. We're going to only be here for a couple more hours at the most. All right, let's bring in Brian Norcross and talk about this storm. Brian, you've been looking at the radar, and really it's at this point meteorologists are watching that radar for any kind of changes. Anything you've seen here recently that you can point out?
Well, in the last couple of hours, Jim, maybe the last hour especially, we have seen on the radar signs of intensification. So we really weren't surprised when the advisory came in at the top of the hour and they bumped it up to 100-mile-an-hour Category 2 hurricane, because we saw the eye tightening on the satellite, and on the radar we saw a better defined eye wall. And when we look at this satellite picture here, you can see very clearly that the storm is zipping along and the eye has gotten a little bit smaller. But here's the latest. If you're just tuning in, it's a 100-mile-an-hour Category 2 hurricane. It looks like it is going to come ashore here very soon as a Category 2, and it's going to come ashore in the vicinity of Morehead City. The pressure 976 hurricane hunters are out in the storm right now, looking. The National Hurricane Center analyzing an average motion north-northeast at 15 miles per hour. The forward speed has been just slowly increasing as forecast. So this is nothing unanticipated has happened here so far. At the 10 o'clock hour, like right now, they just updated 90 miles from Cape Hatteras to the center of the storm. But let's take a look and see how far it is from the center of the eye to land. Well, when we analyzed it just about 10 minutes ago, it was 37 miles. Now it's a little less than that, and it's moving 15 miles an hour or so, 15 or 16, might even have picked up a little bit. So you can see we're on the order of 2 hours to the center of the eye coming over the land. So that's going to put it right about midnight. As we were estimating earlier, it seems to be right on schedule for the center of the eye. But the eye wall, which is this part here, this is the strongest part right there, rotating around, is going to come over the land. In fact, it's already, part of that eye wall is already over the land there. So in the Morehead City area and down around Cape Lookout, in the Camp Lejeune area, they are getting a significant part of the storm. Good news right now, these stronger cells are right offshore. Let's go back and put this into motion and see how the motion is moving here. Now, Jim is up here in Rodanthe, up on the Outer Banks, so he has not yet gotten this strong band. That band was producing frequent lightning that was seen there from Hatteras, where Mark Sudduth is in Hatteras, and we were talking to him a little while ago. We're trying to get him back on the phone, but the communications disrupted there a bit. But that band is going to rotate up through the Outer Banks, and then the next band is going to come in, and that one's going to be even stronger. And then the real strong one is down here, which is associated with the eye wall, and that's where the big push of water is going to come. But we already have strong south winds coming south against the land there, and as the tide comes up in the next 2 hours, these two things are going to come together here on the Outer Banks. It looks like as the storm has sped up in motion some, the timing is just not working out. So the thinking is that this early AM time period here is 2 a.m. So if it's a Cape Lookout about midnight, the thinking is it's around the lower end of the Outer Banks at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and at midnight is when high tide comes. So if the center is there, now we're pushing water right against the southern shore of Cape Hatteras, and storm surge flooding and topping of the roads there, and very dangerous conditions are going to be expected. And then we're going to have issues farther on the Cape. On the Outer Banks, we'll look at that in just a moment. But I did want to mention Cape Cod, because as the system speeds on to the north, we have Cape Cod there sticking into it just a little bit. Now, when the system is up here, the worst of the weather is going to be on the right side, much lesser so on the left side. So only a tropical storm warning for Chatham up to Provincetown on Cape Cod, but that's going to be tomorrow night. All right. here's the timing now. Here we are about 9 o'clock, as this is about an hour ago, as the system was approaching the Beaufort, Morehead City, the Cape Lookout area, and these onshore winds you see here are pushing the water against the southern shore. The high tides you see are all just after midnight to 1 o'clock. 11 o'clock, we're seeing the storm just about at Cape Lookout, and then at midnight, here you see it. They are right near high tide now, and this is where we're going to get the biggest push of water against the southern side of the Outer Banks there between midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning. And then the system moves along, and now we're getting the push of water back off the ocean. So the tide will be going out at the time that we get the biggest push of water against Kill Devil Hills and on down south of there where Jim is, down in Rodanthe down there. But we'll also get in the Sound the water pushing this way down toward the south in the Sound. So we have multiple areas of stress on the Outer Banks here going on in this overnight time period from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. And then here we are at 6 a.m. and notice the winds are letting up because the storm is moving away, but we're still getting water being pushed in the Sound. It's going to take a while for that water to go down, and we're going to talk in more detail about that coming up at 20 minutes after the hour. And I'll tell you what, just give you a little preview of what we're going to talk about with Michael Lowry. Here is the storm surge map and the forecast. Notice all the yellows in the Rodanthe area and to the north. That is the high storm surge zone. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes. But for right now, back to the studio and Paul and Kelly.
Brian, thanks so much. The other big story tonight, of course, the severe weather in the Northeast. We'll show you if those storms are weakening next.
Plus, heavy rains and strong winds are hitting North Carolina right now. Hurricane Arthur coverage continues as Category 2 Hurricane Arthur gets within hours of making landfall.
At Panera Bread, our new flatbread sandwiches may be flat. The flavors are anything but. So whether it's taste inspired by the freshness of the Mediterranean or the smoky spice of the Southwest, or bold, adventurous Thai flavors, you always get flavor that's anything but flat, and always with chicken raised without antibiotics. New flatbread sandwiches from Panera, each 360 calories or less. Try one today.
Find your Panera Bread favorite and share with us. #PaneraFaves.
New Olympic Elite Advanced Stain and Sealant in 1 has revolutionary color-rich technology and 4-season protection package that penetrates deep to protect and beautify.
Dad, I'm hungry.
New Olympic Elite.
Dad.
New Olympic Elite. From America's most trusted brand since 1938. Only at Lowe's.
Who's he talking to?
I don't know, honey. I don't know.
With diabetes, it's tough to keep life balanced. I don't always have time to eat like I should. That's why I like Glucerna shakes. They have slowly digestible carbs to help minimize blood sugar spikes.
Glucerna, the #1 doctor-recommended brand. Inside each of us is a little bit of minion. The part of us that wants to be mischievous, wants to run free. All you have to do is let it out. Find your inner minion, only at the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem Ride at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, sunny skies. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region tomorrow morning only on your Weather Channel.
Sun's out. Challenge issued.
New Coppertone Sport AccuSpray. Designed to help you spray where you want, not where you don't.
It's so on.
Coppertone Sport AccuSpray. It's on.
From safety to fuel economy to quality. Today's Chevrolet has it all, and it's a great time to buy. During the Chevy 72-hour sale, you'll get 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. 0% APR for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for the rest of the summer. Hurry, the Chevy 72-hour sale ends Monday. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Want to celebrate the 4th without little uninvited guests? Stop by your neighborhood Ace to get Ortho Home Defense Max with Comfort Wand. Just $9.99 after $3 instant savings during our 4th of July event, happening now.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Welcome back, everyone. Our coverage of Hurricane Arthur continues, but right now we're also talking about severe weather in the Northeast, where we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until midnight tonight across portions of Maine, down into Massachusetts and Connecticut. New York City finally in the clear. We did have some big-time storms roll right over Manhattan, causing some flash flooding as well. Those storms are still going on Long Island, but not severe at this time. What is severe is this line that is bowing out. It's approaching Portland, Maine right now, so watch out for some damaging winds in Carroll, Oxford, and York counties, all under a severe thunderstorm warning. We take you down to the Worcester area of Massachusetts. We've got Providence, Windham, and Worcester counties under a severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until 10:30. Dangerous lightning and a push of wind coming in with these storms, possibly some small hail and definitely some dangerous lightning with these storms as well. There's a look at where we still have some residual heavy rain going on across the mid-Hudson Valley, around Poughkeepsie, LaGrange, right on over towards Hartford. It is still coming down. Flash flooding is a concern here down towards Long Island. Of course, with Hurricane Arthur, which is a Category 2 hurricane, by the way, we are concerned about the threat of severe weather, including tornadoes. A tornado watch has been extended now through the overnight hours all the way until 8 o'clock in the morning. And already we have had tornado warnings with these outer rain bands that are spiraling around the center of Arthur. And you can see where we do have very heavy rain going on, as well as some gusty winds. Cape Lookout gusting as high as 60, even up to 70 miles per hour. Earlier tonight, the government officials of North Carolina briefed residents about Hurricane Arthur.
The good news is this, is that the storm on the southern part of our coast thankfully occurred during low tide, and we aren't seeing a lot of damage at this point in time. And of course, it happened primarily during daylight. The bad news right now is we're going to darkness, and we've just been notified that this is now a Category 2 hurricane, which we want to warn our citizens up the coast and our thousands of tourists who may be dealing with this for the first time, that this is a serious storm. And with the darkness coming and with the high tide also coming, as this storm moves to the north, the danger does increase.
That was North Carolina Governor McCrory there talking about Hurricane Arthur. And I want to share what's going on with Arthur. Got some pretty interesting things going on here. Again, Category 2 hurricane, 100-mile-per-hour sustained winds, pressure at 976, moving north-northeast at 15 miles per hour. Remember that, 15 miles per hour. And right now it's 90 miles to center, 90 miles southwest of Cape Hatteras. But it's a lot closer to other areas in North Carolina. Take a look at the winds here on the backside of the hurricane, still gusting 30, 40 miles per hour, 50 offshore. And then we head ahead of the hurricane. We have winds gusting 40, 50, 60, 84 mile per hour wind gust at Cape Lookout, sustained wind at 71 miles per hour. So again, it's still a ways from Hatteras, and we are still getting really hit hard from Beaufort to the Cape Lookout area to Swansboro. We're getting hit hard by the brunt of Hurricane Arthur. Again, Arthur is not a point. Arthur is not just the center. Arthur is a much bigger system affecting a big chunk of land. Right now, that center is only 30 miles from making landfall here, right around Cape Fear here. So we're talking 15 miles per hour. That's about 2 hours. Put this on top of that, we're talking just after midnight, we can see the first landfall of Hurricane Arthur. Kelly?
And Paul, for that reason, millions are preparing for our first hurricane of the Atlantic season to make landfall overnight. That includes the folks on the coast of North Carolina, where they're being told to shelter in place.
once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down the tread and wearing out safety, leaving worried drivers with no choice but to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man who proved the right tire changes everything, putting those drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find the right tire for you at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
Because you care, we care. Michelin Total Performance, bringing multiple performances together. Michelin, a better way forward.
Let's unplug the past. Let's say goodbye to those. And hello to whoa. Let's find a better way to cook this. Wash that. Compare those and save these. Because you can make dinner. Or you can make dinner a breeze. Are you ready? Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, this Whirlpool washer dryer, just $349 each.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
I'm a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
I am a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
Pro painters count on Scotch Blue. Now with advanced Edge-Lock paint line protector for even sharper paint lines.
I am a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
Scotch Blue Painter's Tape.
Inside each of us is a little bit of minion. The part of us that wants to be mischievous, wants to run free. All you have to do is let it out. Find your inner minion only at the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem Ride at Universal Studios Hollywood.
I've always seen No No on TV, and I always wondered if it worked. And it's definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No No from Radiancy. No No gives you no hair with no pain.
There's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, Al. It's almost hair-free.
And now, No No is better than ever. Introducing the new No No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave.
Absolutely.
And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
And there's a No No for him, too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now, and we'll send you everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. Try No No for 60 days. If you don't love it, return it, and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No No risk-free today.
Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region tomorrow morning only on your Weather Channel.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by ServPro, helping make sure your home and business is ready for whatever happens.
Everything is ruined.
It's okay. We're ready.
When the things that matter most are on the line, make sure we are too. The Fire and Water Cleanup Team at 1-800-SERVPRO. Like it never even happened.
It's the candy bar that's too hot for TV in all its naked glory. Stripped of chocolate with nothing but salty roasted peanuts on soft, sweet caramel. A Payday bar will get you through your day. Expose yourself to Payday.
State officials urge complete evacuation. Severe flooding is expected.
It's okay. We're ready.
When the things that matter most are on the line, make sure we are too. The Storm Response Team at 1-800-SERVPRO. Like it never even happened.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, sunny skies. High 82, winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back as we continue our coverage here on Hurricane Arthur. We're in the process of seeing our first Category 2 landfall in the United States since Hurricane Ike in 2008, almost 6 years since we've last had a Category 2 hurricane or a hurricane this strong threaten the coast. This is where we stand now. The Hurricane Center, as of the 10 o'clock advisory, we have a 100-mile-per-hour hurricane that's nearing the coast of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Those pressures, 976 millibars. Now, we have an Air Force Hurricane Hunter plane that's been flying in and out of the circulation, measuring and estimating the pressure. Haven't seen any significant falls in those pressures, but the winds have come up a little bit tonight. It is moving quickly off to the north-northeast at 15 miles per hour. This is what it looks like on our radar. This is the loop of the past 6 hours, and it's sort of stair-stepped its way along the coast. These hurricanes have a tendency to do that because of the convection or the thunderstorms in that ring of storms around the eye. This is something that we call the eye wall. It makes it act like an unbalanced top, and so you get this sort of stair-step effect. But when you smooth out those wiggles and wobbles, what we're seeing is a north and northeasterly direction paralleling the coast here. Zooming down, though, I tell you what, the eye is going to get awfully close here to Morehead City and Beaufort. We had a wind report, the wind gust report from Cape Lookout of 84 miles per hour. Those winds very strong, and they're going to come in really quickly here in the next few minutes for those of you that are right here at the point here along the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I want to show you our current radar. Again, those winds and those bands surrounding the eye. Now, the eye wall, again, is that ring of storms right in here. That eye wall did try to close off earlier. Most of the strongest winds are to the north and to the east. See that point there? Some of the velocities I'm seeing on our radar, about 1,000 feet up or about 100 miles per hour. Now, that's not the wind that we're seeing at the surface. Those winds reduce because we're in the frictional part of the frictional boundary layer that we call it, that's near the surface. So the winds at the surface are probably more along 80 miles per hour, 70 to 80 miles per hour. Those are some very strong winds. And all of those winds are pushing the water toward the coast. So we're going to see the storm surge come up as the tide comes in. These are the wind gusts that we're seeing along the coast. Beaufort, 54 miles per hour. Wilmington, the good news there, winds 37 miles per hour. They're gusting in the other direction. So we had winds coming out of the southeast, now to the northwest, all the weather up here. So the winds are going to come up along the Outer Banks of North Carolina, up Ocracoke Island, and then up to Kill Devil Hills as we move through the evening hours. Zooming in, we have a buoy right here, 65 mile per hour wind gust. This buoy actually went through the eye of the hurricane. I can show you the trace of the winds. Tropical storm force winds throughout much of the afternoon hours, but look at this, dropping off below hurricane force as the eye passed through, and now they're on the southern side of the storm, and those winds starting to come up again in tropical storm force winds, nearing hurricane force winds once again at that buoy. All right, what I want to do is step through the wind speed forecast. This is important. The winds is what pushes the water toward the shore. Storm surge is just the rise in the ocean being pushed above normally dry land. That floods areas along the coast. So right now, this is a forecast for tonight at 11 p.m. High tide is about midnight for most of these locations. And so when the tide comes in, we have about a 2-foot tidal variation. So when you add that tide on top of the storm surge is when you start to get the flooding. So we're talking about oceanside flooding at first along the Outer Banks here, up through Cape Hatteras, Rodanthe. The good news for those of you up here in Rodanthe on the ocean side at least is those winds are southeasterly. The direction is southeasterly. As you have a northeasterly facing beach, that means it's paralleling the shore. So most of the storm surge impacts, I think, that we're going to see on the ocean side are going to be down here. The forecast is for 3 to 5 feet of coastal flooding. Now, as we move through the overnight hours, watch as these winds shift. These winds are going to shift from northeasterly to northwesterly. And what that's going to do is it's going to push water into the sound side, and that's going to cause sound side flooding in the overnight hours as we get to the daybreak hours. We're going to have more on the storm surge threat coming up. Stay tuned to the Weather Channel. Paul and Kelly, in the meantime, back to you.
All right, thanks, Michael. Well, we'll continue our live coverage of Hurricane Arthur after the break.
And take a look at Arthur as seen from the International Space Station. The astronauts tweeted out this picture earlier today.
Hi, I'm Johnny Bench, and for over 10 years, I've used Blue Emu products. Blue Emu, made with real emu oil, is a non-greasy, deep-penetrating formula that works deep into my joints. My wife and I love it.
And now for those hard-to-reach places, there's the all-new Blue Emu Pain Relief Spray. Odorless with an active ingredient for pain relief that will help with your muscle aches and joint pain.
Blue Emu, it works fast.
And you won't stink.
Blue Emu, it works for me, it'll work for you.
If you're taking multiple medications, does your mouth often feel dry? A dry mouth can be a side effect of many medications, but it can also lead to tooth decay and bad breath. That's why there's Biotine. Available as an oral rinse, toothpaste, spray, or gel, Biotine can provide soothing relief, and it helps keep your mouth healthy, too. Remember, while your medication is doing you good, a dry mouth isn't. Biotine, for people who suffer from dry mouth.
Jack.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
This is Kathleen. Setting up the perfect wedding day begins with her arthritis pain and 2 pills. Afternoon arrives and feeling good, but her knee pain returns. That's 2 more pills. The evening's event brings laughter, joy, and more pain. When Jamie says,
"What's that, like 6 pills today?"
Yeah. I can take 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Really?
And that's it.
this is Kathleen.
For my arthritis pain, I now choose Aleve.
Get all-day arthritis pain relief with an easy open cap.
So we've had a Tempur-Pedic for a while, but now that we have the adjustable base, it's even better.
When I put my feet up on this bed, my stress just goes away.
Go up. Our Tempur-Pedic is the best thing in our house, except for my husband.
Wait, where are you going?
Visit your local retailer and discover how Tempur-Pedic can move you.
Hello! 3 grams daily of beta-glucan, a soluble fiber from whole grain oat foods like Cheerios, can help lower cholesterol. Thank you.
After 50 years of designing cars for crash survival, Subaru has developed our most revolutionary feature yet. A car that can see trouble and stop itself to avoid it. When the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety tested front crash prevention, nobody beat Subaru models with eyesight. Not Honda, not Ford, or any other brand. Subaru Eyesight, an extra set of eyes every time you drive.
Inside each of us is a little bit of Minion. The part of us that wants to be mischievous, wants to run free. All you have to do is let it out. Find your inner Minion, only at the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem Ride at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, sunny skies. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region tomorrow morning only on your Weather Channel.
Welcome back to our coverage of Hurricane Arthur, a Category 2 hurricane, but maybe a couple hours from landfall. We're always concerned with tornadoes with landfalling hurricanes. Right now, a tornado warning here in North Carolina for Chowan, Pasquotank, and Perquimans counties here till 10:45 local time. These this part of a rotating thunderstorm is moving off to the northwest here, eventually heading on towards Gatesville by 11:12, 11:26, heading on towards Tar Heel, North Carolina. Again, be on alert. We do have a tornado warning for Chowan, Pasquotank, and Perquimans County here in North Carolina because of the approach of Hurricane Arthur. For more live coverage, let's head to the Outer Banks with our storm tracker, Jim Cantori.
All right, Jim has obviously lost some communications out there in Rodanthe. This video that we're seeing here was taken earlier today in Hatteras there by our Mark Sudduth, who is working with us to provide unique view of what's going on here. So that's just a little preview of what we'll have once this storm goes on through. As a matter of fact, can we go to Mark now? Mark Sudduth is on the phone in Hatteras Village. Mark, can you hear me? And if you can, what are you seeing there? That strong band went through, we saw on the radar.
Yeah, Brian, I can hear you fine. I actually went back up to Rodanthe. I am preparing the drifting surge cam. We want to put a surge cam out in the storm surge one day that just drifts around, and I want to test it in tethered mode since it's going to be dark when most of the action is happening. I don't want to lose it in the dark if I'm going to lose it at all, so I'm preparing that piece of equipment. That should be extraordinary to at least hear. Maybe we will get to see something. So I'm in Rodanthe, about to head back to Hatteras Village. You asked about that rain band. Yes, it was very intense, blowing the sand across the road. It's quite an experience. I'm glad I have almost 15 years experience knowing what I'm doing so that I can hopefully stay safe like I have so far.
So the rain band, I don't think has made it to Rodanthe yet, has it? It looks like if you're going back south down the Outer Banks, you're going to get to go through that again, and there's another one behind it.
That's right. I went through it, outran it, and it's dry here, except very muggy, as I mentioned before. Just incredible moisture in the atmosphere. So you're right, Brian. I'm going to be driving south, back into that rain band again, and the clock is really going to be ticking for me to get this stuff set up before the worst of it comes in, and then I'll come to this house in Rodanthe and hunker down for the duration.
All right, just real quick, then we'll let you go. The video from above that we saw that you took earlier on, you want to describe what you're going to do with that? Here we're looking at it right now from down by Hatteras Village.
Yeah, so the quadcopter is a really neat tool to be able to get a different perspective on things, and so we got to see what the area looks like beforehand. And as soon as the wind dies down enough tomorrow, at first light, I have got about an hour's worth of batteries to fly that quadcopter again. And if the wind cooperates, I can put it straight up. I don't have to fly it around to do anything fancy, just straight up to get an aerial view of perhaps the storm surge and, unfortunately, perhaps the damage, and to be able to get an immediate look and not have to wait for traditional helicopter footage. The tools that we have now are truly amazing.
Yeah, all right. All right, Mark Sudduth, go ahead about your work, because we're really looking forward to seeing what kind of video you can collect. So we're looking, Mark is working on cameras from all different directions here, from the land, from the sea, and in the air, quite literally. So we'll have coverage here like nowhere else. Mark Sudduth, thanks very much. We'll be back in touch. All right, you saw the numbers there from the latest advisory from the Hurricane Center. We have a 100-mile-an-hour Category 2 hurricane that's bearing down there on eastern North Carolina. There was the pressure, 976. I just checked the reconnaissance out there, and no sign of a continuing decrease in pressure. As a matter of fact, they actually came up with a 977. But yeah, so it's steady state, looks like, at 100 miles an hour, moving at 15 miles per hour. So it's picking up forward speed, and it's less than 15 miles from Cape Lookout. Now, this gets us into the definition of landfall. So Cape Lookout is that point that sticks out right there. The definition of landfall is the center, the geometric center of the eye, if that crosses the coast. So when we put it into motion here, you can see it's going to be a very close call, whether it nips that end of the Cape or it just misses it, moving off toward Cape Hatteras and Hatteras Village there. So that's Hatteras Village. That's where Mark Sudduth is going. He's up the Cape right now, up there in Rodanthe, There you see it up there. So we were just talking to him there. He's going to be driving down to Hatteras Village, where they're getting an extremely strong band, and that's where we're going to have the cameras deployed on down there. All right, and up here in Rodanthe right now, where there's a strong band just about to go through, is our Jim Cantori, who you saw at the top of the segment there. All right, we've got our communications back with Jim. Jim, when there's a band just coming at you, and this is the one that was producing all the lightning, although it does not look as strong as it was maybe half an hour ago. Jim?
Yeah, and you know, typically that happens sometimes. These first ones come whipping through and they run out of steam a little bit. But really, Brian, past this, we're going to get into it, just like Mark's got down to the south. And we're going to be into it steady right through tomorrow morning. So that's why Dare County officials said, look, we want you to stay right there. By the way, I actually asked Mark to do that quadcopter video to show you what it looks like from where I am right now, because I knew it was going to be nightfall. And you could see, you know, you look left, there's the sound. You look right, here's the ocean. There's not much room to play with, and you're going to get it from both sides. And it is like that for mile after mile after mile on the Outer Banks, and that's why this is such a dangerous area. That's why Highway 12 is so susceptible to flooding, even with a minor system, a tropical storm, or even a nor'easter, if you will. I shouldn't call those minor, because they can be quite healthy, but you get the drift. Something weaker than what we have right in through here. Again, Brian, our winds are gusting at times 35, 40 miles per hour here, but they're paralleling the coast, so they're pushing the water as opposed to bringing it in. But once the center comes in, the winds are going to come around more from the east, and that's going to allow the water to pile up. The problem is that may be about 1:25 in the morning, which is the time of high tide right here in Rodanthe. So we're very, very concerned about that. But again, residents, obviously a lot of them staying put on Hatteras Island, as they always do. We know that. A lot of visitors left, though. They took heed of that evacuation. They got out of harm's way. Obviously a great idea there. But Brian, again, the big change here has been the lightning we've seen, a few showers, and the winds now, which are probably sustained at between 30 and 35 miles an hour, gusting occasionally to 40. Back to you.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. We'll be back in touch here just as long as we can. Let's go back to the radar, because I wanted to pick up on this question of landfall. There's the center right there, and it's moving clearly in that kind of direction. Is it going to just tick the end, and we have a technical landfall on the end of Lookout Point there, or not? So we'll see. Or Cape Lookout. We'll see. Anyway, it's academic, because the main issue in play here is that the winds are coming in like this and pushing the ocean water up against the south end of the Outer Banks. And with Jim up here in Rodanthe, you see the winds are coming in from the southeast there. But as the storm gets over to the east, they're going to come more around directly from the east, and that's where they get that overwash there on Highway 12, and that cuts off Highway 12. So then you end up with people that are trapped on the Outer Banks, and that's what they want to avoid, obviously. So here's the timing on it. The forecast from the National Hurricane Center puts it somewhere in this area right near the lower end of the Outer Banks, plus or minus, and it looks like it's favoring the right side of the track a little bit, something like that, and it puts it there about 2 o'clock in the morning. Early a.m. here means 2 o'clock in the morning. So we seem to be right on schedule, unfortunately, very near high tide right there at Rodanthe. All right, Paul and Kelly, back to you. See you in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Well, Hurricane Arthur is just only one of two big stories we're following right now.
The other is a second night of severe weather in the Northeast. We'll let you know what's going on here with this round of storms.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, sunny skies. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Scotch Blue is my tape.
I'm a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
Pro painters count on Scotch Blue. Now with advanced Edge-Lock paint line protector for even sharper paint lines.
I am a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
Scotch Blue Painter Stamp.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
At every Ford dealership, you'll find the works. It's a complete checkup of the services your vehicle needs. So prepare your car for any road trip by taking it to an expert Ford technician. Because no matter your destination, good maintenance helps you save at the pump.
Get our multi-point inspection with a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and more for $29.95 or less.
Get a complete vehicle checkup only at your Ford dealer.
Kids are fed?
Kids are fed, homework is done, baths are taken.
I'm impressed. Looks like you've got everything under control.
We got it all under control here. We're all good, right, guys?
Yeah, we're all good here. Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Finally, a paint that's stain resistant and scrubbable. Introducing new Valspar Reserve. Now get $10 to $40 off our best paint and stains.
Ugh, this dress.
New Coppertone Clearly Sheer sunscreens. Barely noticeable and face-friendly for beach, pool, and sunny days. Perfect, no matter what you're wearing.
It's so on.
Coppertone Clearly Sheer. It's on.
Want to celebrate the 4th without little uninvited guests? Stop by your neighborhood Ace to get Ortho Home Defense Max with Comfort Wand. Just $9.99 after $3 instant savings during our 4th of July event. Happening now.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
In this bag is 150 years of Swedish experience in perfecting the rich, never bitter taste of Gevalia. We do it all for this very experience.
That's good.
I know, right? Gevalia.
Listen up. I'm reworking the menu. Veggies, you're cool. Mayo, corn dogs, you are so out of here.
The complete balanced nutrition of great tasting Ensure. 24 vitamins and minerals, 9 grams of protein, with 30% less sugars than before. Ensure, your #1 doctor-recommended brand, now introduces Ensure Active. Muscle health, clear protein drink, and high protein. Targeted nutrition to feed your active life. Ensure, take life in.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharp-shooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Round fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
Welcome back, everyone. It's a good thing they just got in those fireworks displays in Boston, because look what we have here. Some storms that are closing in on the city of Boston right now, and just north and west of the city, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. We're also tracking severe weather just to the north of Portland, Maine, and we can see the counties that are involved in that severe warning. That goes till 10:45. There's a look at Boston. Look at that mean-looking thunderstorm that is rolling in through Framingham area right now. Essex, Middlesex, and Suffolk counties are all under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Could be some damaging wind gusts with that, as well as some dangerous lightning. We're also tracking some heavy rain moving across the eastern parts of Connecticut. Now we head down to North Carolina because of Hurricane Arthur, a Category 2 hurricane. We are concerned about severe weather, including the possibility of tornadoes. That tornado watch now extended all the way through 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. You can see very impressive eye on the storm, and with those rain bands, we're already seeing some severe weather. Here's a tornado warning in effect for Chowan, Pasquotank, I'm not sure how to say that, Pasquotank, and also Perkins County, all under a tornado warning right now. And interestingly enough, this cell moving off toward the northwest, so watch out in those cities around Carter and Gatesville in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Paul?
Well, let's get you back outside now and show you the impact Arthur is already having on parts of the Outer Banks. We'll take you to Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, where meteorologist Mike Seidel is. And Mike, I'm looking at the timing of Arthur approach you. You might be perhaps maybe 5 or 6 hours from that center, but the worst effects might be perhaps only about maybe 3.5, 4 hours away.
Yes, indeed. We've had a quick shower for a few minutes, but it's still dry. And after midnight, and certainly after 2 or 3 in the morning, as you mentioned, Paul, the worst of the weather comes in. We'll have some of those outer bands like the one Jim is dealing with down the coast by about 35 or 40 miles. He's south of the bridge, and that's where they've had the mandatory evacuation. There's still thousands up here on the northern half of the Outer Banks. In fact, there's still people out on the beach tonight, and until it rains, they're going to be out here. What we've noticed this afternoon and this evening, the wave action really ramping up now. We've got about 4 to 5 footers. The tide is up to here. We've got a high tide coming in about 90 minutes, and this afternoon's high tide got up to here. It's going to get even higher. We have a fairly decent elevation rise towards these hotels, but I'm almost certain that we're going to have most of this beach underwater later on Friday morning as we get the peak of the storm, although it comes in at low tide. And then, as we've been talking about all evening, once the storm goes by, we're going to be watching the other side of 158, the main highway on the Outer Banks, for sound side flooding. Albemarle Sound on the north and the Pamlico Sound on the south, also the Currituck Sound on the other side of Duck and Corolla. And then this is going to whip on out of here. Everybody's hunkered down. In fact, Dare County says if you're here now, just sit tight, stay indoors. In fact, they want everybody off the streets and indoors from midnight to 6 a.m. for most of these communities. And we'll be out here all night long. Not here, Paul, but we'll be at a safe location giving you the pictures from here, Kill Devil Hills. Paul?
All right, stay safe out there, Mike. That's Mike Siddell in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Well, new information is coming in fast and furious with Hurricane Arthur, and we're keeping you updated on all of it.
In fact, Kate Parker is here with us tonight with the developing news regarding Hurricane Arthur and its impacts already, Kate.
We are seeing quite a lot of impacts. In fact, some of these they're pretty tremendous. In North Carolina, a total of 11 counties. That's where we're looking at right now in North Carolina have already declared a state of emergency. The North Carolina Department of Transportation expects a heavy impact from all of North Carolina Highway 12 from Ocracoke to Bonner Hip Bridge, which is open still, according to the Department of Transportation, to northbound traffic for those that are leaving Hatteras Island, but there are absolutely no guarantees on how long that will stay open. Remember, there are 14 shelters that are open statewide, including one in Kill Devil Hills that is used as a last resort. And we're also getting several images into us here at the Weather Channel from social media, like this one. This is flooding in Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina, from earlier today, about 40 miles south of Wilmington. You can see the water has overflowed, taken over the parking lot in this community. And then this was the scene today in Cure Beach, North Carolina. Winds clocked in at 71 miles an hour. You can definitely see the trees moving around, the signs blowing over nearly there. We're going to keep you updated on the latest impacts as Hurricane Arthur starts to move closer and closer to shore.
And Kate, we're getting reports of power flashes around Morehead City, and Paul and I were just looking at the radar. Looks like they might be involved in that eye wall right now.
Yeah, they're getting the worst of it right now. Perhaps a potential landfall coming up over the next hour to 2 hours in that area just to the east of Morehead City. But still, we are still tracking Hurricane Arthur, including the risk of severe weather and new tornado warning right now in North Carolina.
Yeah, we got Bertie, Chowan, and Hertford counties all under a tornado warning. Seek shelter.
This program brought to you by Crizal. Live life in the clear.
Watch. Nothing can stop Crizal No Glare lenses. Neither water, nor scratch, nor dirt or dust, nor smudge, nor glare of night can keep your lenses from giving you the clearest vision possible. And Crizal has ESPF 25 to protect your eyes 25 times more from the damaging rays of the sun. Crizal No Glare lenses. Live life in the clear. Ask for them at your eye care professional.
Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region tomorrow morning only on your Weather Channel. Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking the first hurricane of the Atlantic season, Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region with the first word on tracking Arthur and how it will affect your 4th of July. Tomorrow morning on AMHQ, following Wake Up with Al, only on your Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, sunny skies. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Let's unplug the past. Let's say goodbye to those. And hello to whoa. Let's find a better way to cook this. Wash that. Compare those and save these. Because you can make dinner. Or you can make dinner a breeze. Are you ready? Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, this Maytag French door refrigerator, just $9.98.
Whoa. Sweeten any moment with soft, fruity, chewy Fruit Vines Bites from the Red Vines family. Introducing Fruit Vines Bites. Live on the sweet side with Fruit Vines.
Introducing Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. The seal just got better. With stain and sealer in one and easy-to-choose colors, exceptional beauty and protection have never been easier. New Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. Available at the Home Depot.
School's out and summer's in. Kick off your road trip at Pep Boys Hit the Road Jack sales event. This week only, get a DIY oil change for just $14.99 after rebate. Or let us do it for you for only $21.99. Don't miss the Hit the Road Jack sales event. Trust the boys to get you there.
Searching with devotion for a snack that isn't lame, but this takes my breath away.
Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
Are you confused by all the expanding hoses on the market? Don't be fooled by imitations. Hi, I'm Michael Berardi. I'm the inventor of the X-Hose, the original blue expanding hose. In fact, I've been awarded 3 U.S. patents for my invention. Now I'm introducing my new DAP X-Hose Pro with solid brass fittings and a wider 3/4 inch diameter. Works like my original X-Hose. Just turn the water on and my X-Hose Pro automatically expands and expands and expands. And when you're finished, my X-Hose Pro automatically contracts for easy storage. Great for homeowners and professionals. My 50-foot 3/4 inch X-Hose Pro weighs only about 2 pounds. My DAP X-Hose Pro will never kink. Get my new DAP X-Hose Pro for only $29.95. But call right now and get a second X-Hose Pro free. Just pay processing and handling. So call now. I promise you'll love it.
Call 1-800-990-8968. X-Hose Pro is not sold in stores, so call 1-800-990-8968 today.
The Coasties are back, and Monday, the Weather Channel is the only place to find them. Coast Guard, Cape Disappointment. Monday nights at 9 on the Weather Channel.
It's 53 minutes after the hour. We're back here with our continuing coverage on Hurricane Arthur. I'm along with Storm Surge Specialist Brian. I'm Brian Norcross. You're Michael Lowry. All right, well, let's take a look at the radar real quickly, and then we're going to get into the storm surge and what's going on right now. Because here we are with the center of the eye, according to our calculations, only 11 miles from Cape Lookout there. The question is whether the center is going to hit Cape Lookout or not. If it does, then technically you get a landfall there. It's moving at 15 miles per hour. Let me just put it into motion here real quickly, and you'll see it's, when you look at the center, exactly where is the center going to go? It's going to come very, very close to Cape Lookout. But the main thing to notice is these bands, and they actually have gotten more circular, which in a better developed hurricane, you see more circular. But this band right here produced winds gusting up to 84 miles an hour right there at Cape Lookout. And it used to be that the only way we knew kind of the wind direction. We kind of estimated it from the radar. We'd say, okay, the wind is coming that way, and now we have much better tools. Michael, talk about what's been happening right down in this area here.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the wind's really coming up here near Cape Lookout and Beaufort. Morehead City, you're seeing some really strong wind gusts. And again, as you have those winds pushing the water toward the coast, that's going to pile up the water and create storm surge issues for those people that are living at the coast, especially oceanside. So let's zoom in to the Cape Hatteras area. I'm sorry, to the Cape Lookout area and to Beaufort, because this is where we're starting to see the water levels actually come up down here just to the south and to the west of Cape Lookout. And you have to watch for the south-facing and the southeast-facing beaches. We're not seeing a value here, Brian, but I can tell you that the water rise, the water flooding, storm surge flooding is about a foot there right now. The actual storm surge, the water above the normal tide is 2 feet. The tide is coming in, the storm surge is still going up. So this water rise is going to go up in the Beaufort area. And this is a protected area here, Brian. This is inside the sound, inside some channels. So if you go just to the south, Onslow Bay over here, Cape Lookout Oceanside, again, those east-facing, south-facing shorelines, they're getting the hardest hit right now. Wind gust of 80 miles per hour. Really, at this point, probably 2 to 4 feet of storm surge, and it's going to get higher. And then you have the waves on top of that, so 3 to 5 foot waves crashing on shore of those oceanside beaches.
So we should really emphasize that we call this storm surge flooding here, meaning that it's actually flooding the ground at a foot of seawater over top of the ground. That's what a foot of storm surge flooding means.
So that's right. We're combining the storm surge, the water above the tide with the tide, and that's how you get the storm surge flooding. So again, we're seeing about a foot here in the Beaufort area. That's going to go up as we move through the next hour or two. We're going to hit a high tide there at 12:48, just past midnight. So in about 2 hours, we're going to have our high tide.
All right. So the push of the wind is against the shore, as you were talking about right now, and then.
Yeah, let's step through this, Brian.
Okay.
So we have those strong winds really pushing water against the Cape Hatteras. Now, notice down up here. Now, Jim Cantori's up here, Rodanthe, Kill Devil Hills. On the north side of the Cape, you're seeing winds out of the southeast. They're really paralleling the shore right now, so we're not really seeing those storm surge impacts. But as we put this into motion, you're going to see those winds go from southeasterly to more of a northeasterly direction. So as we go through the overnight hours, that's when we're going to see the surge come up the northeast side. Good news here, Brian, is that they're going to be going to a low tide there on the ocean side, but got to watch for that sound side flooding. The winds are going to turn around to the northwest, and that's going to push water up very quickly in the sound. That water is going to come up in a matter of hours as we get into the daybreak hours tomorrow, and then further up the coast, you're going to have to be careful here in Norfolk. We know, Brian, look, Norfolk floods on a regular day at a high tide, so you're going to add a storm to the mix, and you're going to add those gusty winds. We're going to more than likely see the minor coastal flooding impacts all the way up into Norfolk.
Yeah, so I don't think we've been talking about southeastern Virginia enough in the tidewater, because you're going to get a big push of water coming in from the ocean there. So anyway, you folks need to pay attention to this. We're concentrating on the Outer Banks. It's going to be worse there, but we definitely are concerned about the tidewater. All right, back with more at the top of the hour. Back to Paul and Kelly.
All right, thanks, guys. Well, the Weather Channel has you covered with Hurricane Arthur through its landfall, probably within the next 60 minutes or so. We're staying live on air all night long to keep you updated.
We also have the most live reporters along the coast to show you exactly what to expect. Our coverage of Hurricane Arthur continues in 60 seconds. Nick Walker and Kim Cunningham, they're up next.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, sunny skies. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
An emergency situation tonight in North Carolina. People there already feeling the impact of Arthur, now a Category 2 hurricane. Hello, I'm Nick Walker along with Kim Cunningham. Thanks for watching our extended Hurricane Central coverage.
Well, we're awaiting the new advisory from the National Hurricane Center. We want to send it over to Senior Hurricane Specialist Brian Norcross for the latest on the storm. Brian, you anticipating anything different?
Kim and Nick, we are not. The hurricane hunters are out there. We haven't seen any indication of any significant difference. We are just about, we think, to have technical landfall, although it is not really relevant because it's just the point of North Carolina. So we're standing by here. I'm just hoping we're 10 seconds from 11 o'clock. So obviously there's a lot of discussion going on at the National Hurricane Center because 99% of the time they have the 11 o'clock advisory out by 11 o'clock, and here we are. Just past that hour. So here's the 10 o'clock advisory. If you're just tuning in for the latest, 100-mile-an-hour hurricane, Category 2 hurricane is the latest information. 976 millibars was the information at 9 o'clock, and the hurricane hunters have been out there. We haven't seen any remarkable difference. Moving north-northeast at 15, indications are it's continuing to speed up in its forward motion, which was indeed anticipated. All right, we'll just move on, and I kind of show you what's going on here, and then the instant we get the advisory, we'll bring it to you, because the machines update the second that things come in these days. All right, here's the way the satellite looks, and let me just stop this and go through step by step, and you can see how things have changed. Now watch the eye here. So you see the eye looking pretty circular, and you see this was when we had the bad weather just south of Wilmington over the Wrightsville Beach, and then we went through a period where we thought, okay, things are kind of not going well for this storm, and we were kind of optimistic because you see it's kind of broken up here. Some dry air got in there. We analyzed the hurricane hunters and found dry air, but then as we move forward in time, you see the colors return and the eye gets pretty clear and circular. Now it seems like the last picture, the eye may be getting a little big again, but in any case, the colors now are over the land, and that's representative of the thunderstorms that we had these very strong wind gusts in. Okay, we have the new advisory is just coming in, 100 miles an hour, northeast at 18. So no significant change there, except what I suggested was the forward motion has changed just a little bit, now northeast at 18. And let's go back to the satellite picture and let me show you what that means. So what was happening is it kind of wobbled a little bit more to the north, and now it's back more to the northeast as we have been discussing here. So it looks like it might clip Cape Lookout there and then go right along the southern shore of the Outer Banks here, and that's going to put the water up against the Outer Banks, and we see this on the radar here as we analyze just 11 miles from the center, and now it's actually very, very close. It looks like to the center. It's the center of this circle. And is that center, let's tell you what, let's go close up here. So here's the circle. It's like this, and is the center of that over top of that little spit of land. If the Hurricane Center analyzes that's the case, it looks like it might be a little bit west. Anyway, if that moves over the land, then that is landfall. And it turns out it doesn't really make any difference, obviously, as we're continuing on here. The main issue is the water being pushed against the bottom of the Outer Banks. All right, Jim Cantori is a little north on the Outer Banks up here in Rodanthe, right there. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's go to Jim right now, and then I'll show you where he is, because he's having some problems because the weather is not good there. Jim, take it away.
Brian, yeah, we had a few showers in through here, and nothing really tremendously heavy for any long period of time. So we're still on the dry side of the storm, but you just showed the radar, and basically from Ocracoke southward, it is a wall of water and wind. And once we get into that part of it, which is probably less than 2 hours, quite frankly, we're in it. I mean, we're in it for the long haul at that point. Our winds are somewhat parallel to the coastline here because of the way the beach is oriented. So you'll notice the water coming and just rushing on by me here. Occasionally it comes up, but I'll tell you, one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, to look offshore here and to just actually see the water breaking over my head just offshore, that's pretty wild. But really, literally within the past half hour, I've seen about a foot of beach erosion here. So longshore current, all that water basically paralleling the beach, just absolutely rolling on it and chewing the beaches away here. And if you're, a homeowner like this, this is the last thing you want to see. This thing was obviously reinforced a couple of times. Once the winds come around from the east, that water will come in and rush up some of these side streets here, and that is where we will see our oceanside flooding. Unfortunately, Brian, it looks like that's going to be right around the time of high tide tonight at 1:25 in the morning. Now, the other issue, of course, and where we think we're going to get the more substantial flooding across the entire national seashore is from the sound side. We're going to see the winds come around from the west, and that means it's going to push all that water back up over Highway 12 and through these small towns of Frisco and Salvo, which is where we are. And I'm going to be honest with you, we're taking a risk tonight. We're going to take a risk, and we're going to try and basically stay above that surge. We know we can get out of it, we can get high, but our satellite truck is going to be riding the needle, and we want to show you what that surge is going to be like when it comes in the wee morning hours here. We'll keep you posted from Rodanthe, Brian. Right now, again, we're sustained a tropical storm force, minimal, and we're expecting conditions to really deteriorate over the next couple of hours. Back to you.
All right, Jim Cantori, stay safe out there, and we'll be back in touch with you. Let's go back to the radar. Let me just show you where Jim is, and the weather that went through there is this band here that's kind of broken now, but there's another one coming. It's down right at Cape Hatteras now, and it's rotating up, but the real action is still a ways away from that part of the Cape. So we're still on track. We are still, and this is, here we go. Here's the new information, which is the same as we had. It's just an update of the cone. This is new from the National Hurricane Center, coming over Cape Hatteras here. And then by tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, it's well offshore at that time, and things start improving. So this is an overnight event, and after sunrise, things just slowly improve, and then it moves off up to the north and just brushes offshore of Cape Cod. There may be some effects right at the end of the Cape, and kind of an ugly 4th of July there in the northeast, but then moving on away. So as the system comes in, the main point is that the water comes against Cape Hatteras here, and we have this high tide coming in just after midnight tonight, coming up in just over an hour. All right, let's send it back into the studio, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Brian. Stay with us. Important information on Hurricane Arthur is just ahead.
We are closely monitoring its projected path and its strength. Plus, we'll have the very latest on the wind, the waves, and the rain, and the imminent landfall, it looks like, here very soon.
Look what I put together, cheddar and honey nut Chex Mix.
Get out of here. I made this belt with traditional bold and peanut butter chocolate Chex Mix.
Oh, cool. You guys are cute.
I've got trail mix, peanut lover, chipotle, cheddar, dark chocolate, hot and spicy, turtle, cookies and cream, Italian herbs and parmesan, sour cream and onion, and brownie supreme Chex Mix. And it rotates.
20 flavors, lots of pieces. Chex Mix, pick your mix. Now try popped white cheddar and sweet and salty.
Defiance is in our bones. Defiance never grows old. Citracal Maximum, calcium citrate plus D. Highly soluble, easily absorbed. All the goodness of milk, all the deliciousness of Hershey's syrup. Squeeze, stir, share.
I'm taking a beating here down to the ground as we're just dealing with these sheets of rain and winds that are howling 50, 60 miles per hour. I'm gonna ride this one out, guys. I'm gonna ride this one out right here.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low, 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, sunny skies. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region tomorrow morning only on your Weather Channel.
Want to celebrate the 4th without little uninvited guests? Stop by your neighborhood Ace to get Ortho Home Defense Max with Comfort Wand. Just $9.99 after $3 instant savings during our 4th of July event, happening now.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ugh, this dress. New Coppertone Clearly Sheer sunscreens. Barely noticeable and face-friendly for beach, pool, and sunny days. Perfect, no matter what you're wearing. It's so on. Coppertone Clearly Sheer. It's on.
At every Ford dealership, you'll find the works. It's a complete checkup of the services your vehicle needs. So prepare your car for any road trip by taking it to an expert Ford technician. Because no matter your destination, good maintenance helps you save at the pump.
Get our multi-point inspection with a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and more for $29.95 or less.
Get a complete vehicle checkup only at your Ford dealer.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharp-shooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Round fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. With a one-touch wand.
Hey, good evening, everybody. From Rodanthe, North Carolina, we are on Hatteras Island here, and we are in an area that's certainly going to be susceptible to ocean overwatch over the next couple of hours. You can see a phenomenal longshore current behind me here. Winds are blowing out of the southeast. They're just pulling the beach sand right away. Literally within 30 minutes, we've lost at least about a foot of this beach, all right? So that's continuing to be something that we can visibly see here. When the winds start coming around a little bit more easterly, that's going to take that wave action right on shore, Kim, and we're going to be hightailing it out of here. But again, tonight, we do expect the island to flood, and we need everybody in Dare County to just stay put and ride this thing out. It's going to be a long night, but everybody needs to stay put. All right, Kim, let's talk about what else we have with this storm. We've seen quite a few tornadoes and a measured wind gust in Carteret County at Fort Morgan at 87 miles per hour. 87 miles per hour.
That's right, Jim. We're seeing a Cape Lookout 84-mile-an-hour wind gusts and about making landfall, too. So the big story right now is Arthur making landfall. It sure looks like it. Right now, we're going to give you the very latest from the National Hurricane Center. And the 11 o'clock advisory has kept it pretty much status quo. Winds at 100 miles per hour. Still a Category 2 hurricane. The pressure 976 millibars. That didn't change either. Moving, though, northeast at 18. So the forward speed has picked up. So right now we're still looking at those winds as the eye's getting closer now to Cape Lookout. Now down to 37 mile per hour wind gusts. Hatteras up to 54. This buoy's at 51. So we're starting to see some very strong winds heading towards Jim. Morehead City, though, it looks like the eye passing over you right now. This could very well be landfall. Nick?
Veteran meteorologist Mike Seidel is tracking Arthur from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Mike, obviously, as we get closer and closer to high tide, we're going to see more problems there with the rising water.
Now, the tide right now is approaching the high water mark in about another hour, and it's almost as high as it was 12 hours ago at the previous high tide, and we're going to lose some beach. Now again, we're about 40 miles north of where Jim is, so we haven't got into the heavier rain bands. We've had a couple of quick showers, got the rain gear all ready, because it's really going to go downhill after midnight tonight, and we're going to get hit pretty hard up here on the northern Outer Banks. And they've told everybody to stay off the streets, stay indoors from midnight to 6 a.m., basically from Nags Head up here to Kill Devil Hills, up towards Duck and Corolla. And then we're going to have to worry, too, about the Soundside flooding. Now, not as a biggest concern as down there, where they'll get overwatched probably from the Atlantic over to the Pamlico Sound, because that strip of land is very, very narrow. Here, we have more width in the real estate, Kim. So again, it's quiet now, relatively speaking, but the waves are really ramped up. We'll be here all night to show it to you. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Mike Seidel there at Kill Devil Hills. Obviously, the worst yet to come there.
All right, extended live coverage picks up right after the break. Stay with the Weather Channel for expert analysis of Hurricane Arthur now and where it's going next.
We are watching the heavy rain and the center of the storm beginning to move very, very close to shoreline. We'll bring you an update.
For savings. Get 10 to 30% off major appliances $3.99 or more, plus 18 months special financing through July 7th at Lowe's.
She's still the one for you, and Cialis for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment is right. Cialis is also the only daily ED tablet approved to treat symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
I'm MMA champ Chuck Liddell, and I stop things. Just like Duralast brakes. They stop anything! Duralast, proven tough. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Looks like the Garcias got a new car.
What'd they get?
I don't know.
Sure doesn't look like a Buick.
Buick.
I'm outside. Where are you? I'm right here. I'm in the Buick. I don't see a Buick.
Take a fresh look at Buick. It just might surprise you.
Ooh, that's not a Buick. That's what I told him. Wow. This is nice. Oh, my.
Enjoy the dealer experience ranked highest by J.D. Power and get $12.50 Independence Day cash plus 0% financing for 60 months on the 2014 Enclave.
I often think how amazing it is that I am a business owner when I'm definitely not a business guy.
When you believe in something and you want to pursue your dreams, you just have to go for it.
I think owning your own business just makes you feel so much more successful.
We take pride in what we do, but being proud of it is a part of it as well.
So when I design stuff, when I market, it's definitely got to feel like me.
Vistaprint allowed me to create that vision that I had in my mind.
I was able to find a template, then just pop my logo into it.
Vistaprint had all the things that I really needed to be able to market my company.
Your business is your passion. Your marketing materials should reflect that. With Vistaprint, they will. So start putting your passion to work for you with 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. That's right, get 500 cards for just $9.99 when you enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
I love my job.
Vistaprint.com.
Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region tomorrow morning only on your Weather Channel.
Stay tuned for your Local on the 8s, brought to you by ServPro, helping make fire and water damage like it never happened.
Everything is ruined.
It's okay. We're ready. When the things that matter most are on the line, make sure we are too. The Fire and Water Cleanup Team at 1-800-SERVPRO. Like it never even happened.
Holy great Lord.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, hey, Flo.
You want to see something cool? Snapshot from Progressive.
My insurance company told me not to talk to people like you.
You always do what they tell you?
No.
Try it and see what your good driving can save you. You don't even have to switch. Unless you're scared.
I'm not scared. You know, we can still see you.
No, you can't.
Pretty sure we can.
Try Snapshot today. No pressure.
State officials urge complete evacuation. Severe flooding is expected.
It's okay. We're ready.
When the things that matter most are on the line, make sure we are too. The Storm Response Team at 1-800-SERVPRO. Like it never even happened.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, mainly sunny. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, take a look right now at Rodanthe here in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, where the waves have been really kicking up. You could see how it's just coming ashore, the waves beating here at the beaches, and it's only going to get worse. Jim Cantori's been standing by, and we're going to talk to him later on and see what he's been seeing and feeling here at Rodanthe.
Yeah, there's a lot left from Hurricane Arthur as we get you through the night, but it looks like very soon we could have a landfall. So let's check in with with Michael Lowry, who is at the expert desk watching the very latest. How close are we to a landfall, you think, Michael?
We are awfully close, Nick. We're waiting word from the National Hurricane Center to see whether or not Hurricane Arthur has indeed made landfall along the Outer Banks of North Carolina. The latest information that we have from it, though, the center very, very close, the eye wall moving over land right now. This is the latest of the 11 o'clock advisory, so this just in the past 20 minutes that we're getting in from the Hurricane Center. 75 miles west-southwest of Cape Hatteras, very near Cape Lookout. Those winds still at 100 miles per hour. The pressure still at 976 millibars. I guess if there's any good news is we haven't seen any significant strengthening. Those winds coming up just a little bit, enough to make this a Category 2 hurricane. If this is declared a landfall from the National Hurricane Center, this would be the first Category 2 or stronger hurricane to strike the United States since Hurricane Ike back in 2008. So it's been nearly 6 years since we've had a Category 2 or stronger landfall in this country. Moving quickly toward the northeast now at 18 miles per hour. Let's show you that radar. The center of the storm, or the eye of the hurricane, right in here. Now the Hurricane Center declares landfall when the center of the eye, that point right in there, crosses land, and you can see it's awfully close, if not doing it right now. So we are awaiting the official word. So no official word from the Hurricane Center at this point. It's sort of academic because those strong winds and from those rain bands right around the eye, that ring of storms that you're seeing there, the red colors there, that is the eye wall immediately surrounding the eye. That is where the worst of the weather is. That's where the strongest winds are. That's where the heaviest rainfall is. And that's affecting you in Cape Lookout here, Beaufort, Morehead City. We had a wind gust of 87 miles per hour over here at Fort Macon at 1024. That's an 87 mile per hour wind gust. We had an 84 mile per hour wind gust at Cape Lookout. So those winds really, really gusty. And those winds are also going to push the water toward the coast, which we'll get to in just a moment and talk about that storm surge and coastal flooding threat. Okay, you can see that stair step to the storm. The last 6 hours, it's been paralleling the coast. It's moving more in that northeasterly direction now, though. So the eye of the storm moving over land as we speak. No official word from the Hurricane Center in terms of the landfall. What happens when you get the eye close to land, the disjointed nature of the storm, where you have storms on one side of the hurricane eye, you have storms on the other side, kind of pull it in each direction, almost like an unbalanced top. Also, there are frictional effects from land that also try to pull the eye toward land. So it's very difficult to pinpoint where that exact landfall is. But again, mostly an academic thing at this point. So the radar, it's good when we have a storm that's close to land, because we can actually estimate some of the wind velocities in these storms as it gets close to land. We actually have more data that we can bring to you to talk about the impact. Some of the radar estimates, as you go about 1,000 feet up, are estimating winds of about 100 miles per hour, but those are reduced when you get down to the surface because of frictional effects. So the winds about 80 miles an hour, 70 to 80 miles per hour at the surface. All right, let's talk about the storm surge threat, okay? So right now, you have those strong, very, very strong southeasterly winds that are blowing water toward the ocean side of the Cape here. We have storm surge flooding being reported in Beaufort, 1.3 feet of storm surge flooding. That's just the surge component. And Beaufort's over here. It's inside of the sound, inside of the channel, so it's sort of protected. If you're over here along the Cape Lookout area, there's a lighthouse down here. I assure you that the storm surge and the coastal flooding is a lot worse because you're also adding the impacts of waves, those 3 to 5 foot waves that are breaking on top of the storm surge. Remember, that storm surge, Nick, is just the rise in water from the strong winds around the hurricane, and that pushes the water, the ocean water, over normally dry land, leading to the significant coastal flooding, which we expect through the evening hours. We'll have more on this in just a minute. In the meantime, back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks so much, Michael. Appreciate it. Hurricane Arthur, a major threat.
That's right. We'll be right back with more. We'll get you through the night right after this.
That's smooth. Transform your worn weather deck into a beautiful barefoot-friendly surface with Olympic Rescue It wood and concrete resurfacer.
Who are you talking to?
Olympic Rescue It, from America's most trusted brand since 1938. Available at Lowe's.
Listen up. I'm reworking the menu. Veggies, you're cool. Mayo, corn dogs, you are so out of here.
The complete balanced nutrition of great tasting Ensure. 24 vitamins and minerals, 9 grams of protein with 30% less sugars than before. Ensure, your #1 doctor recommended brand, now introduces Ensure Active. Muscle health, clear protein drink, and high protein. Targeted nutrition to feed your active life. Ensure, take life in.
Fruit with a cool finish. Fruit on one side, cool on the other. Icebreakers Duo, a fruity cool way to break the ice.
What makes Florida's natural orange juice taste so uniquely fresh and delicious? Is it the rich Florida soil or the perfect blend of sunshine, rain, and temperature? Maybe it's the fact that Florida's natural oranges are never imported. They're raised right here in Florida and passed with care from our hands to yours. 100% pure, 100% Florida. Florida's natural. Try our new citrus smoothies in the chilled juice section next to our orange juice.
Listen up, Thunder Dragons. It's time to get a hotel.
Hey, Razor, check this out. We can save big with Priceline Express deals.
You know what, man? These guys ain't no dragons.
They're cool. These deals are legit.
Hey, we're cool.
She's cool. We're cool.
Priceline Express deals are totally legit. Check this. Thousands of people book them every day and score killer deals. Now Priceline is piling on even more savings with its summer sale. So grab your giant beach towel and enter code SUMMER14. Look at me enjoying the deals.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time.
We could, mess with the world.
Hello. 3 grams daily of beta-glucan, a soluble fiber from whole grain oat foods like Cheerios, can help lower cholesterol. Thank you. Quiet! Mom has a headache!
Had a headache, but now I don't. Excedrin is fast.
In fact, for some, relief starts in just 15 minutes. Excedrin. Headache gone.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, mainly sunny. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region tomorrow morning only on your Weather Channel.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
Good evening, everyone, from Rodanthe, North Carolina, where we continue to deal with the power of Arthur coming in tonight across Ocracoke Island with an absolute hammering wind down near Carteret County. We've had measured winds at Fort Morgan at 87 miles per hour. We've had all sorts of wind and erosion, Curie Beach, Topsail Beach, down and toward Wrightsville as well. Things will slowly start to improve there, but we are just getting into the worst of it here on Hatteras Island, gusting now to close to 50 miles per hour here in Rodanthe. And the beach erosion with what we call this longshore current, you can see racing behind me here, is about, I mean, it's literally chewed away 2 feet of beach in the last hour. I mean, it's just gone. I'm not going to go down there because that's where the water's flowing right now, and it will continue to flow. The worst of this storm still for the northern part of the island and all the way up into northern Dare County. Let's bring in Brian Norcross. And Brian, let's talk about this. We've got an 87-mile-an-hour wind measured at Fort Morgan. It looks like the center is somewhere just east of Cape oh my goodness, what about Morehead City right now.
Cape Lookout.
And Jim, it looks like this is going to, do you think this will landfall before midnight?
Jim Cantori, landfall was called 11:15 at just north of Cape Lookout, between Cape Lookout and Beaufort. The storm has actually made a little jog to the left.
Okay.
We thought it might just clip there, Cape Lookout, but it actually jogged just to the north, and actually hurricane hunters flew right into it just as it was making landfall there. So the National Hurricane Center officially calling landfall of the first Category 2 hurricane in the United States since 2008. Really, really hard to believe. And Jim, looking at that surf behind you, we can see that it is more dynamic and stronger and moving faster than it was just a little while ago. This is really beginning now for the Outer Banks.
Brian, I think if I got in this water right now and I was able to survive, I would be up in Kill Devil Hills in about 35 minutes. That's how fast it's moving. I mean, it is really hauling, and it's coming in and it's rolling here. It's rolling like this. So earliest landfall in June in North Carolina history of known records here, and now we're going to deal with the worst of this thing coming in tonight. But again, Dare County officials pretty much asking everybody to just hunker down. We're not seeing the worst of this here yet. That is yet to come, and we think the winds are going to come around more easterly, and that's going to shove some of this water up and out toward Highway 12. And then we're going to deal with the sound flooding, we think, really in the middle of the night. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe everybody will be home at that point and out of harm's way. That is obviously the hope of officials here. But you can see the wind. You can see the sand coming right up in front of me. We are really starting to gust, and there's a heck of a light show offshore. So some of these bands are closing in on us, as well as some pretty heavy rain, too. Back to you, Brian.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. That yes, that band offshore is very intense. It's more intense than the first one that came through that produced a lot of lightning. All right, let's go ahead and show you what happened at 11:15 officially. And there you see it, Shackleford Banks, North Carolina. There is Cape Lookout right there, and this is just to the north of Cape Lookout. We'll look at it close up on the radar in just a second. Category 2, 100-mile-an-hour winds was the estimate at the time that it came in. And actually, at Cape Lookout was measured gusts of 101 miles per hour. So it's probably going to go down in the record books around that 100-mile-per-hour sustained. We'll see exactly when they finally finalize all the observations, exactly what they come up with. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at that radar. Now, let me just switch over to that, and you can see it, what's happened here. And you notice, look at the way it's moved. We thought it was going to go right like that, but look at the center. The center is kind of up here now, and indeed it made a little bit of a turn. So now as it wobbles around, it looks like it's going to do something like that, and it's going to come over the lower end of Pamlico Sound, very near Hatteras Village here, Cape Hatteras here, and be just south of Rodanthe. That's where Jim Cantori is, and up at Kill Devil Hills, our Mike Seidel is up there. So this is going to, right now, it's pushing all this water against the southern side of the Cape, and as the southern side of the Outer Banks, and as Jim said, he's getting the water pushing like this now. It's going to switch around and come in like that, and that's when this real stress is going to be there on the Outer Banks. Let's just go close up on this current radar, and there we see the eye, and we see also that the worst of it is here offshore. The brightest reds are offshore, and they're going to rotate in. So some of these areas between Cape Lookout and over here to Ocracoke and up to Hatteras and Hatteras Island there, they're going to get this core of the storm. This is the eye wall here. That's where the strongest winds are right there. They're going to rotate in. This is what produced the 101-mile-per-hour gust there when it went by Cape Lookout. Now, just to review for the Outer Banks where the strongest winds are expected to be, here are the purple areas. This is the hurricane warning here. So in the northern part, up here just below the Virginia line, this is up just including the area right along there where Nags Head is. Well, Nags Head is down here by Kill Devil Hills, and on up, why is the town escaping me up there at the very end? I guess it's late here tonight. But in any case, the northern end of up there right by Virginia, all of Dare County here, including Manteo, and then on down to the south, Beaufort and Inland and Hyde County down there, and all of the Cape under that hurricane warning. Other areas inland, tropical storm warnings, and up in the Norfolk area in the Tidewater, tropical storm warning up there. So the new cone, not that anything's changed, is showing you that this storm is expected to come right over the Outer Banks. The slight difference here, which is a little bit of maybe good news, I don't know, it kind of cuts both ways, is that at 8 o'clock in the morning, when we say Friday a.m. here, we mean 8 a.m., the storm is expected to be in this area, kind of well offshore and moving away. Now, why I say that kind of cuts both ways is because coming up here in about an hour, or less than an hour, plus or minus, is when we have high tide in the southern end of the Outer Banks. And up where Jim is, Jim Cantori, and let's bring Jim Cantori in now, up where he is, it's about 2 a.m. So with the storm moving a little faster, Jim, that's going to switch the winds around a little sooner, and that actually is not good news for where you are there, because that's going to allow high tide and a angle more favorable for ocean-side storm surge to kind of come together, where if it had moved slower, like we were thinking earlier, the angle of the wind approach on the Outer Banks would not have been quite so perpendicular. So anyways, let's send it back to you up there in Rodanthe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Brian, each one of these is different. We try and, you know, dissect the heck out of these things, and they're all different. Timing, how high is the water, you know, what's the setup ahead of that? Is there any kind of rainfall that's flowing back into the water? All those things obviously factor into what's going on. But, you know, like you've been mentioning, right now our wind is coming down the shoreline, so it's basically pushing the water down the shore, and the erosion is phenomenal. I've never seen the kind of erosion that I've seen in through here, but it'll be interesting once those winds come around to the east, because I can look right out there and I can see whitecaps pretty much parallel with the top of my head, and it's not uncommon, and it's happened many, many times before, guys, when the winds are out of the east, that water just starts rushing right up in through here and heads right on out to Highway 12. It's only 100 yards from where I'm standing. So, you know, I think these homes will be fine. There's obviously going to be water coming underneath them. The big question is, though, when we get into high tide, is something like this, where these folks have put their air conditioner units up. Are they high enough? You can see how high they put these, and you can see how high their neighbors have put them. So that's probably the safer bet, even with a storm like this. Guys, we'll keep you posted again on Rodanthe, but right now, again, winds closing in on 50 miles per hour. Very strong, not a lot of rain, so the sand is blowing all over the place. Nick, back to you.
Our extended coverage continues in minutes.
We'll show you where Arthur's headed next and let you know how strong it's expected to be when it gets there. It's already made landfall, but there's still a lot left from Arthur.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, mainly sunny. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
At every Ford dealership, you'll find the works. It's a complete checkup of the services your vehicle needs. So prepare your car for any road trip by taking it to an expert Ford technician. Because no matter your destination, good maintenance helps you save at the pump.
Get our multi-point inspection with a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and more for $29.95 or less.
Get a complete vehicle checkup only at your Ford dealer.
The best part of coming together is how delicious it can be. Hershey's S'mores, the unmistakable taste that reminds us that life is delicious.
Ike, Andrew, Rita, Ivan, Sandy, meet Chris, Jackie, Joe, Shannon. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
I'm a loving husband and a real good dad, but weeds just make me rattlesnake mad. Well, Roundup has a sharp-shooting wand. I'm sending them weeds to the great beyond. Roundup. Yeah. No need to pump, just point and shoot. Hit them in the leaves and it kills to the root. Round fences, trees, even mulched beds, because the only good weed is a weed that's dead. Roundup. Yeah. Roundup. Yeah. With a one-touch wand.
This is Kathleen. Setting up the perfect wedding day begins with her arthritis pain and 2 pills. Afternoon arrives and feeling good, but her knee pain returns. That's 2 more pills. The evening's event brings laughter, joy, and more pain. When Jamie says,
"What's that, like 6 pills today?"
Yeah. I can take 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Really?
And that's it.
This is Kathleen.
For my arthritis pain, I now choose Aleve.
Get all-day arthritis pain relief with an easy open cap.
Want to celebrate the 4th without little uninvited guests? Stop by your neighborhood Ace to get Ortho Home Defense Max with Comfort Wand. Just $9.99 after $3 instant savings during our 4th of July event, happening now.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ugh, this dress.
New Coppertone Clearly Sheer sunscreens. Barely noticeable and face-friendly for beach, pool, and sunny days. Perfect, no matter what you're wearing.
It's so on.
Coppertone Clearly Sheer. It's on.
Well, the National Hurricane Center is now releasing the latest advisory on Hurricane Arthur every 2 hours. It looks like our next advisory is at 1 a.m. Eastern Time, and then 3 o'clock, then 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You get the idea. So the very latest, if you're just joining us, Hurricane Arthur has officially made landfall. Cape Lookout, North Carolina, 11:15 this evening. And we actually had a wind gust to 101 miles per hour. We haven't seen a Category 2 make landfall in the U.S. since 2008, so it has been a while. So this is the very latest from the National Hurricane Center. The latest advisory has wind at 100 miles per hour. That didn't change. The pressure is the same at 976 millibars. It's moving northeast at 18. That changed. It is now moving much faster to the northeast. And you can see still dealing with, especially on that east side, still dealing with a lot of wind, still dealing with a lot of rain, and some big wave action out there too. As you can see, the center moved just over Morehead City. But you know what? It's not over with yet. As you know, with the eye of a hurricane, you got the other side to deal with now. But the wind's from a different direction now coming around. So that eye wall just about ready to come into Morehead City and to Cape Lookout as well. We're going to see some very strong winds once again as now that outer band is going to be coming ashore. So just get prepared. You're going to get hit again here as the eye has now made a landfall. So we'll continue on to look at those winds right now. Cape Lookout, 37-mile-per-hour winds again. The center over us looks like we're seeing 33 at New Bern. Hatteras up to 58 miles per hour. We're going to see hurricane force winds heading up into Hatteras here probably by 2 o'clock in the morning is when we're thinking we're going to see those strong winds. And then by 8 o'clock in the morning, we're not going to be dealing with the winds anymore. Maybe tropical storm force winds by tomorrow morning here for the Outer Banks. Eventually up towards Cape Cod is where we're going to see possibly some strong winds and maybe even some heavy rain from this. But at least right now, thinking by tomorrow morning, just tropical storm force winds, still dealing with, though, a lot of the surge issues as well. Nick?
Well, as you might guess, new information is coming in fast and furious with Hurricane Arthur, and we're keeping you updated on it all. Kate Parker's here with us tonight with more on the developing news regarding Hurricane Arthur. What's the latest now, Kate?
We just have a tremendous amount of information coming on in. One of those stats is that we now have 11 counties in North Carolina that have declared a state of emergency. So we're seeing that. The North Carolina Department of Transportation expects a significant impact to Highway 12 from Ocracoke to Bonner Bridge. And we have 14 shelters that are open statewide, including one in Kill Devil Hills as a last resort, and over 24,000 are without power. We're also getting a lot of images here into the Weather Channel from social media like these. Check out the choppy waters banging around the boats that were tied up in Morehead City. The winds in this video are about 60 to 80 miles an hour in range, to give you some perspective. But have you ever wondered what it would be like to be caught up in winds closing in on 100 miles an hour? Well, this is what it looked like from Frying Pan Tower. That's a former Coast Guard station that's 34 miles off the coast of North Carolina, and it's now a bed and breakfast. Off in the distance, you could see where you could, we actually had a NOAA buoy out there, but to give you some perspective on this, Nick, so that was about 99 miles an hour. You had crazy winds. They were incredibly strong, and then whenever we had landfall, we had that wind gust clocked in at 101, so that should give you some idea of what it felt like during landfall there in Cape Lookout.
And there is so much more left of the night, and we've got to get through it all with those close roads.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It really is. Okay, Kate, thanks for the update. And stay with us. We are back in just a few minutes with our live extended coverage of Hurricane Arthur. Again, it made landfall around 11:15 here tonight. And as Kate mentioned, that 101 mile per hour wind gust, likely that will be possibly the top wind at landfall. We'll continue to keep you updated on this. Folks in Dare County, Craven County, Currituck County, preparations should be complete. You should be in your shelter, hopefully a long, long way from the beach. Here's some stats on it now. 65 miles west-southwest of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, with winds of 100 miles per hour, the pressure of 976 millibars. Its movement is now toward the northeast at about 18 miles per hour. It's gained a little bit of speed. That caused the landfall to be a little bit earlier than what was originally anticipated, and will also change everything here as this moves up toward the northeast. High tide very soon here within the next hour or so around many of the North Carolina beaches. Obviously, we are going to continue to see coastal flooding, a major problem. Water over roadways. Again, you need to be in your safe place, your shelter, and stay inside until this is passed.
Kids are fed?
Kids are fed. Homework is done. Baths are taken.
I'm impressed. Looks like you've got everything under control.
We got it all under control here. We're all good, right, guys?
Yeah, we're all good here. Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Finally, a paint that's stain-resistant and scrubbable. Introducing new Valspar Reserve. Now get $10 to $40 off our best paint and stains.
A Weather Channel original series.
Never put your hands on me.
Catching Hell. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking the first hurricane of the Atlantic season, Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region with the first word on tracking Arthur and how it will affect your 4th of July. Tomorrow morning on AMHQ, following Wake Up with Al, only on your Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, mainly sunny. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tires, not just for performance, but real life performance. So before you get in, get going, get gone. You need to get a tire that gets you, because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires and get up to a $70 prepaid card by mail. See retailer for details.
I'm a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
I am a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
Pro painters count on Scotch Blue. Now with advanced Edge-Lock paint line protector for even sharper paint lines.
I am a painter, and Scotch Blue is my tape.
Scotch Blue Painter's Tape.
I've always seen No on TV, and I always wondered if it worked. And it's definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No from Radiancy. No gives you no hair with no pain.
There's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, Al. It's almost hair-free.
And now, No is better than ever. Introducing the new No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave.
Absolutely.
And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
And there's a No for him, too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now, and we'll send you everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. Try No for 60 days. If you don't love it, return it, and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No risk-free today.
Tomorrow morning on America's Morning Headquarters, we're tracking Arthur. Our AMHQ experts are live all across the region. Tomorrow morning only on your Weather Channel.
Good evening, everybody from Rodanthe, North Carolina. Arthur really starting to come in now. Winds are starting to turn around a little bit more from the east, which is going to pretty much get us out of here in about 10 minutes because there's a heck of a mean ocean here behind me that's going to run right up through these two buildings and make its way out to Highway 12, which is just a little more than 100 yards from where I'm standing. It's official now. The earliest landfalling hurricane in North Carolina history with known records. Cape Lookout, about 11:15. Where do we go from here? Let's bring in Brian Norcross and talk about it. Brian, we're over 50 now, buddy, and climbing.
I see it. I can hear it in the mic, and I see it in the ocean there behind you, Jim. The ocean is coming up, and we are getting into the core of the storm. As a matter of fact, just reported, in fact, let's take a look at the radar, and I'll show you where this was. 88-mile-per-hour gusts at Cedar Island, which is right here. So Jim is up here in Rodanthe, and what he's getting is this band right out here. So we can kind of count the bands, and generally as you go out from the center, here's the center of the hurricane, and as you go out, band 1, band 2, band 3, and band 4, and then there's one out here, band 5, that each one of those, generally, you have an average wind that's stronger as you get closer to the center. So he's still got a long ways to go there, and you saw the wind really picking up. Good, sounds like tropical storm force winds going out here already. So that's driving the water up against the southern end of Cape Hatteras here. So this band here, this is the eye wall right here, and obviously that's what's affecting Cedar Island right now. So the eye, let's go and put this, I'll tell you what, I want to go back here and see if I can put this into motion for you. For whatever reason, it did something funny on me there. But anyway, I wanted to show you the motion here because this is where we can see the landfall. You see that right there? So here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, and then it kind of makes a little turn to the north. So it came ashore just north of this point here. That's Cape Lookout, and these bands are rotating up there into North Carolina. Now we can go up really close, and you see where the center is now. Made landfall right back here. It's heading up in that direction right there. So all this very, very strong part of the storm is going to rake the southern part of the Outer Banks here and drive that water up onto Highway 12, and this is going to be a very dangerous place to be here through these evening hours, and then it's going to be up in the Rodanthe and Kill Devil Hills area later on. All right, now we've been talking about the cone. The cone isn't really relevant. We know now that it's going to go over Cape Hatteras with the 100-mile-an-hour winds. I say it's not relevant. It's not relevant to the immediate discussion, but it is important for points north, and I don't want to ignore this because it is brushing up here Cape Cod. The cone is, but the storm is expected to stay offshore and the weak side affect the Cape. So tropical storm warnings are in effect for the Cape out here, Provincetown down to Chatham, and down on Nantucket, just to bear that in mind. I mean, if there's any place that has dealt with strong storms and big nor'easters, it's up there. So we're not really concerned about that, but it is going to be a nasty period. Now back down to North Carolina. There you saw the motion of the hurricane as it's come up over Cape Lookout, and we're stopping it here in the forecast timing at midnight, coming up here very shortly, and we have a 12:19 high tide, so we're just about at high tide. So unfortunately, we're having the coincidence here of the maximum amount of onshore push from the winds and the high tide all happening at the same time. And then the storm moves on through the overnight into 3 o'clock. Now we're in between tides. The tides are nominally midnight high, 6 a.m. low along the Outer Banks, plus or minus 45 minutes or an hour. And at 3 a.m. in the middle, you see the wind switching around now. So now it's pushing water back against the island. So here's the island here. Now the water is coming from the other side, pushing back against where it had pushed from the outside earlier. And then we go into the 6 a.m. range, and now it's pushing from the north, going south. So the real stress is going to be on the southern end of the Outer Banks here, because first of all, we're going to get the water from the ocean coming in, then we're going to get the water from the sound pushing against that, and then it's going to move away. Here is, I wanted to show you Rodanthe, because this is where Jim Cantori is, and this is the National Hurricane Center's experimental potential storm surge flooding graphic. And you see where the yellows are. The yellows are where the water is forecast to be up to greater than 3 feet over the land. Now, it's less or so on the ocean side where Jim is, but on the sound side and on much of the sound side up and down the Outer Banks, that's where the highest forecasts are. So that's where our concern is, and we're just hoping that everybody is out of those threatened areas. All right, back to you, Kim and Nick.
All right, thanks so much, Brian. A lot left to go here as we head through your nighttime hours.
For some of you, really just the beginning. Stay with us. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the latest on Hurricane Arthur.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 62. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Independence Day, mainly sunny. High 82. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And good evening, everyone. 11:15. We have the landfall of Arthur right there near Cape Lookout. It's official now. Earliest June hurricane in known history for North Carolina. And now the worst is yet to come for the Outer Banks. We are here in Rodanthe. It's going to be one hell of a night in Rodanthe. Winds are already picking up at times, gusting to 50 miles per hour right here. We've had them over 50 down at Hatteras, and all that is coming north. The wave action huge behind me here, but mostly offshore. What we've got is a longshore current, which is absolutely chewing away at the beaches in the tune of about 2 to 3 feet in just the last hour and a half, and more to come, unfortunately. We haven't gotten into the worst impacts. Everyone in Adair County needs to hunker down. Let's get the latest on this hurricane. Brian Norcross, our senior hurricane